Going live in three, two, one. Well, this is totally random with Katie. I think we're up to episode number. Is it number 4 or number 5? I think I might have labeled this incorrectly.
I don't know. I've lost track now.
Let me
I've
do a
lost
quick.
track now.
Oh yeah, hold on. Episode number. There, okay, number 4. Sorry about that. I had to mute another feed that's coming through. Hold on a second. I'm gonna double check this because I don't want to have this. Yeah, we're up to number 4. Number 4. So this is number 4, but we have more episodes than that, obviously. But yeah, the official under our official title, we are up to number 4 at this point. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Are you doing okay?
Yeah. How are you?
Okay. The nothing too new, I guess. The temperature, I guess, getting much cooler. I've had to run the heat for the past week. It was something I haven't had to do all year. Since last winter, of course. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I was sitting on my floor, like putting clothes away and stuff the other day, and I was like shaking, and I'm like, why is it so cold in here? And like I had my door open, and then I realized like my apartment got down to like 64 degrees. Some people probably think that's nice, but I was like, nope, turned it up like a couple degrees. I'm like, I can't work in this.
I had a guy. I worked at it when I was working at Clear Channel. I don't mean to pick. I'm not picking on the guy, but because of his weight, he was a little overweight. But I'm not picking on that. But I do believe that was a factor in this. Whenever I'd go in, it didn't matter what time of year it was. He would turn it down so it was like 60 or below every time I walked into the studio. And there was like 3 or 4 of us in the studio, and it was like I'd have to walk over and turn it back up. And so it was him and I just basically walking back and forth. He turned it down, I turned it back up, like every half hour. It's like just this constant back and forth, back and forth. So he had no
heater.
Yeah, he had no consideration for anybody, in the studio. There was like, and it was just annoying. It just got really annoying after a while. So, but I when you say 64 degrees, I know, especially if you're sitting still for a while, anybody's going to get pretty chill, except for him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't tolerate anything. So,
I wish I could do well in cold, but no.
When I was younger, I used to be well in cold. I used, when I was very, very young, I had a paper route, and I remember going out with shorts and a short sleeve shirt when it'd be cold outside. But I'd be freezing at first, but because I was running my route, by the time I was done, I was so warm. Wearing a jacket was just ridiculous. I'd be sweating too much, so I had to start off freezing for the first few minutes just so my body heat would build up, because I would, because I could do my paper in like maybe a half hour to 15 minutes. And people would see me running outside, like it'd be like, it's 40 degrees outside, and you're wearing they say you're wearing a short and shirt, shorts and a short sleeve shirt. And but you don't understand. I'm running, it's, you can't, it's just, and I was young too. So it's, young, I don't know if I could do that nowadays, but back then, the cold just did not affect me. So let's look at our question for from last week. It looks like we got a pretty decent response on this one. What are you doing for Halloween? Let me bring it up on the screen here. Let's see. We got, wow, overwhelmingly 81% with nothing.
Wow.
Maybe it's because it's a international audience. I'm thinking maybe. I'm not sure. So,
maybe. Yeah, I feel like a lot of holidays we ask stuff and like people don't do anything, or maybe people just don't like doing anything anymore. I mean,
I don't think it's the COVID anymore. I mean, it's maybe some people it is, but I think most people are beyond worrying about going out at this point. So, trick or treating at 10%, 4% with going to a gathering or party, and 3% with dressing up and going out, like to a bar, and then 2% with their own choice. Okay, but that 81%, that just, yeah, it speaks volumes there. So. Let's see. We get decent responses here. In Russia, we're not celebrating this. Aha. So that answers that question.
Like maybe it's more of
yeah. I'm a Muslim. I'm going to do nothing.
I think it is a more American holiday, because like I know like Day of the Dead, like Dos de los Muertos. I don't know. I can't speak Spanish very well, so I'm probably saying it wrong. But I think like maybe different places have different holidays.
Mm-hmm. Did we discuss that before? The Day of the Dead?
Yeah, I feel like we talked about that last episode.
Yeah, I thought so. I want to make sure. Yeah. Unfortunately, it says I have to sleep through because I have to effing work. See, nothing. Drunk at home, alone. My party days are over. I'm married now.
Oh,
No.
still partying. Okay.
That sounds like my parents. I mean, that sounds like something my parents would say when they were still together. Of course, they got divorced eventually. So yeah, nothing as I'm not a Christian. I don't. That's not it. Does that have anything? Does that really have anything to
We
do with
don't have
Halloween?
anything to do.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think Halloween was related to Christianity, but
Yeah, that's
maybe.
interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 3 thumbs up with that, and a little person agreeing with them too. Interesting. And I can never pronounce her name. I apologize. She's a regular contributor. She's been leaving comments on
Amaya?
my Amaya.
AMA? 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 Amy? 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 Maybe it's Amy. AMA. I don't know. It's pretty though. I like the spelling.
She's been leaving comments on my videos for several years, and I tried to pronounce it once during this past a few months ago, and I butchered it really bad. She got all upset, so I don't want to butcher it again. So I'm going to leave it alone. So, but your guess is probably the best one there. Those not wearing masks are the ones I'm afraid of. The ones wearing masks. I'm reading that wrong. Those not wearing masks are the ones I'm more afraid of than the ones wearing costumes. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What's that say?
Binging
Binging.
horror movies.
Yeah. Let's see. F Halloween complete BS. Okay. I'm not sure why someone would be so upset about that, but okay. Um, the last time I celebrated Halloween was back in 2016. I was in behavioral rehab, and the staff made us trick or treat. It wasn't a bad thing, but they searched our candy. Since then, I haven't celebrated trick
Oh,
or treat. Oh my goodness! So I'm not doing anything for the fourth time. Interesting.
no.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I accidentally gave him a heart, but I'll let it go. I was trying to hit the reply. Sandeep Mohanar, another regular contributor, says, "To be honest, I'm doing nothing other than home chores and partying." Does it say? Oh no, what does that say?
Gaming. And
Gaming. Excuse me.
gaming.
Yes. Also, I'll be inactive from YouTube. Oh yeah, he. I think did we read this last time?
Yeah, he said that last time. I wonder why he's being inactive and like
Yeah.
when does that start?
Oh, wait, here we go.
Oh,
It
someone
says
asked him, but I don't think he replied.
no at the very bottom.
Oh,
It says
someone did reply.
yeah. It says have
Okay.
work related issues. I can't access YouTube even though I'm here. I mean, no, I'm free. I'm saying so. Okay, so it's work related.
Mm.
So all right, cool. All righty.
Well, best of luck.
Yeah. Well, so we appreciate your comments, all the things you've left on our comments. Everybody does. Everybody have too, but that just we'll miss your comments as well. So anyway, that is surprisingly overwhelmingly not what I expected. So
Yeah, I would
but
have expected a little bit more of like going out, at least trick or treating, but maybe many people. I mean, I guess if it's not really a thing, I mean, a lot of people were doing like trunk or treat around here at least, even, and I don't know, I don't like that concept. So maybe people just weren't trick or treating this year
trunk or
or
treating
can't.
yeah, we talked about that, right? Where the cars just gather around and people stand by the back of their car and hand out candy, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think unless like a business is doing it or something, or like I don't know. I don't like that like neighborhoods or like different communities would do something like that. I think it's just giving the wrong message. But
Hmm. Right.
I don't know.
All right.
What do
Well,
I
do you have a
know?
question? Do you have a
For this
question?
week,
Yeah. Let's see.
we could do something about daylight savings time. Like, are you a fan of daylight savings time?
Hmm.
Um,
How much of the world
do you
does
like fall
daylight
back?
savings time?
That's
Yeah.
true. I'm not sure. So
Uh,
maybe
I
I guess
think
we
I
could
think.
do a
Sorry, I'll let you speak. We're definitely on a slight delay there. I apologize. We're about 2 seconds, but maybe 1 or 2 seconds behind each other. So I apologize for that. So, go ahead.
Oh no, I don't. What were you gonna say?
I think most of Europe does daylight savings time. So, and I'm pretty sure most of North America. I know part of Arizona does not. I'm not sure if it's. I think it's only they stay in standard time. But for the
Okay.
most part, the United States does. I'm pretty sure Canada. I'm not sure about Canada. I can't say anything about Canada. So, but I think it'll be a good question. I do think whatever we say, I think it'll be okay. So,
Well, we could do daylight savings time, or we could do something about now that it's November, we're gearing up for the holidays, or we can save that. Um, do you have a question that you wanted to ask?
No, I actually kind of like the daylight savings time one, to be honest. That sounded pretty cool. So,
I mean, and we could also go with like, do you like falling forward or falling back? Because I know this Sunday we are tomorrow, we're falling back, right? We're gaining an hour,
right.
but it'll be lighter or darker.
Right. And yeah, I can tell you right now, I despise this every year when this comes, I always hate this. I despise it because I'm losing 1 hour, and it might not seem like much, but my time is so it's precious. I have so many things I got to do that even that 1 hour, just I lose that. I get really angry. It's like, oh goodness, now I have one less hour. I have to do something. It's just if I wasn't so busy, it probably wouldn't be such a big deal. But it's like if somebody when I got 1 hour, if I could get an extra hour every day, I'd be happy. But now I'm losing 1 hour. It just kind of makes me angry. I do know when the spring comes, I get that extra hour, that one day where I get the extra hour, which is nice. But still, just losing that 1 hour every year, I realized it was daylight savings time on Friday. I was like, oh damn, I'm gonna lose that hour. I'm gonna lose 1 hour again. It's like,
Well,
I
you'll
was,
get an extra hour of sleep.
what's that?
You'll get an extra hour of sleep tonight.
Oh
Tonight?
yeah,
Wait, is it changed tonight or going into Monday? It
it's on
changes
Monday
tonight.
tonight. Yeah. So, but we lose an hour, so I'll lose an hour of sleep actually. So you have to get up early.
No, today, so I think like since it's 12, like say it's 12 now, it'll be
Mhm.
11.
Right. So
So you would like sleep longer. I don't
no,
know,
you
this
lose
is
it.
so confusing.
Yeah.
I actually found an article, my coworker was showing it to me yesterday saying how in the long run, daylight savings time is actually better for our health because I pulled it up, but I guess it's like because like our circadian rhythms, like with like the daylight and the nighttime, like if we would not like switch the hours, like the daylight and like the nighttime would kind of be like messed up in our bodies. It would actually take, how long was it? It was something like it would take a few months to get like our like a month or a few months or a year or something to get our bodies back in check rather than just like 2 or 3 days from daylight savings time. I was gonna try to find the article,
So
but
you're saying it'd be better if we stayed in daylight savings time year round? Is that what the article basically said?
yeah, it said the daylight savings time is actually better for us even though we, like, are kind of off for 2 to 3 days as opposed to not being in it because it kinda messes with our circadian rhythms. I think that's how you say the word.
Mm.
I forget how much long it said in the article, but it was, like, for so many months that it actually affects us, and a lot of things have to do with your rhythm, like your sleep and, like, your health and everything. I remember looking it up once that you should time things by your circadian rhythm, like when you should eat, when you should work out, like, and that it's just like best for your body. I don't know how many people do it. I mean, I never tried. It seemed like too
Well,
much to work.
I don't know if you remember this. This is kind of before my time, but it was very long ago that there I think it was during the 1970s that were, or maybe late 60s, where they actually did stay in daylight savings time to try it out in the United States to see if it would work. But what something it was
Mhm.
during the Nixon administration. I don't remember all the details, but what happened was because it remained so dark in the mornings for much longer than they were used to during the wintertime, apparently some children got struck and hit by a car. I don't know if they were killed or not. That it became a controversy. They said so the next year they decided to just go back to doing what they were doing, going back to the normal routine of switching the clocks back. It was just too dark, they said, for people. The darkness stayed way too long in the mornings. That's the major reason why they didn't stick with it. So
Okay, so yeah, when you're changing your clock back, the it is darker when you wake up, but it's not as dark as long. Is
right,
that how it works?
yeah,
Because say
yeah, I
it's
think
like 6 in the morning, now it's 5 in the morning. And then back at 6, it would be a little bit lighter than if it was like 7. Okay, that makes more sense. So yeah.
so yeah, and so it has been done before in this country, but it was just it turned out, and I didn't really know it exists. I think it was my dad that told me about that because he remembered it. So, and
Mhm.
and so they did to compromise. I don't know if you remember this, but daylight savings time actually begins later now and starts earlier now. So I think we used to start back in October, like a few weeks back. So now we start in November. It used to be back in October. So that was a change that was made within the past 10 years or so. I can't remember exactly when. And then we do it. So I think that was like a compromise because I think they remember they wanted to do like you were saying, like just keep it like more year round. But since the hours are just it just creates too many problems in the morning for people, and that's not something that people want to
Right.
deal with, especially with children going to school. So yeah,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I do. Go ahead. I was gonna say something.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say, so maybe we do need it as much as we don't like it. It just messes with us for 2 to 3 days. I remember being a kid though, like and like changing the clocks, and my dad would always be like, "Well, actually, it's only 1 o'clock. Well, actually," and my mom would be like, "Oh my gosh, stop! Like, no, it's 12 or like whatever time it is. Like, adjust." And he's like, "Well, yesterday it was 1 o'clock at this time." And like, it was like a whole thing for like 2 or 3 days.
That reminds me that this was not daylight savings time. It was something. It was the middle of summer. Talking about the clocks. There was no school. My sister and I had we could sleep in as much as we wanted to. She had a friend over, so I went through the house. This is before this couldn't be done nowadays. Every clocks nowadays have automatic. Everything changes automatically on your computer. You don't have to change anything anymore. Back then, though, you couldn't. When I was a kid, we had to manually change every clock in the house. We had like 7 or 8 clocks. So I went while my sister, my mother, and her friend were still asleep. I woke up early and I changed the clocks to be like an hour and a half ahead, and just to mess with their minds. And when they woke up,
Mhm.
they all thought they overslept like really long, and they couldn't believe how much they overslept. And finally, my sister started to realize she was the first one to catch on that something was wrong, and then I started laughing to every time they realized I let the joke go on for probably about an hour before I let them on in on the joke. My sister like she finally figured out that was the wrong time because the TV shows that we watch in the mornings were not matching up
Oh,
with the correct times.
okay. I was like, how did
And
she figure that out if like there were no phones yet? Or
yeah,
like,
yeah. And it was, and then what, but at that point, I just started laughing really hard, but my mother, no one was upset. But it was just kind of funny to see them, see their reaction to see that they had actually, we had to set the clocks back now, like, I think it was like an hour and a half or 2 hours. It wasn't just an hour. I put it like more than an hour just to really mess with their minds. So
so this was during daylight savings times, or this was just some random night or
this was
random
no,
day?
this was random, just a random day in the middle of the summertime. I just, for some
Oh,
reason,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, I was just a kid playing a prank on my family. I just wanted to see what would happen. So,
That's funny.
uh, I will say, when I was much younger. Oh, no, I was actually older than this. I used to work at a service station, a gas station, and when I was like 19 years old, and I do remember this is also before clocks became automatic. Before it changed, you had to manually change all your clocks. And I do remember the day after the daylight savings time, one of the guys walked in an hour late, and we were, like, really concerned, and I kept on saying it was probably because he didn't switch his clock. He was a foreigner, he was from another country,
Mhm.
and everyone kept on looking at me saying, "No, no, he didn't do that," and sure enough, as soon as he walked in, he said, "Yeah, I forgot to change. I didn't know about daylight savings time," and so he was an hour late for work, but nobody really cared. They didn't hold it against him, but so
Right. I
yeah.
mean, some people, yeah.
So yeah, he was so that answers I kind of answers my question about, is daylight savings time done international? I guess it's not, all around the world. So, but
Yeah, I don't
all
think so.
right,
I think there's even some states, like United States, that don't do it. I'm not sure which ones. I guess we could pull it up.
yeah,
Um,
definitely Arizona, a part of Arizona. They stay in standard time, but I'm not sure about the rest of it. Let's see, all right,
but yeah, it looks like the only states that do not do daylight savings are Hawaii, most of Arizona, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands.
oh,
Um,
oh, interesting. I didn't know Puerto Rico. Oh, interesting. Okay, is it?
Northern Marina Islands, Guam, and American Samoa. I think
So
that's like American Samoa. I don't know where that is.
I'm not even.
Um,
I didn't even know that was a territory. Interesting. Okay.
so basically, it's only Hawaii and Arizona except the Navajo part nation. So that's
Okay.
interesting. I do remember that because I had a coworker who worked in Arizona and she was telling me how they didn't do daylight savings time when we had like a Zoom meeting once. Because then we were kind of like almost back on time, like closer to her time, because like they didn't do the daylight savings.
And
But
it, And what's really confusing, I've heard about some, I think it was Arizona. What's really confusing is when you get the people who live right where the time zone, the timeline actually changes over. So they like part of you'll be in an area where part of your region is in one time, the other part is in another time, which is confusing
Mhm.
enough. But then when daylight savings time kicks in, the part of Arizona doesn't change over, but the other part does. So then you're like, you gotta, that must really mess with people's minds because living in
Yeah.
an area
Like you
where
have
it's
a
like,
friend across the street.
yeah. I live in an area, I live in
Wow.
DC where we have three jurisdictions, so Virginia, Maryland, and DC, but we're all under the same time zone. But because we have the three different jurisdictions, it creates issues with, different things. I can imagine a time zone just really, messing everything up there. So
Especially if it's so close and you had like friends that were in the other time zone and you like were trying to make plans like let's meet at 2 o'clock, but then their 2 o'clock was 3 o'clock, but they may think it's 2 o'clock. Like you'd really have to be like, okay, wait, we're meeting like at your 3 o'clock time, but like my 2 o'clock time. Like and they're literally just like 10, 20 minutes away. That would be so confusing. Or like you have to leave their house at like an hour earlier to like get home or whatever at the time you needed to get home. That'd be too much. I would just go with what my phone. Well, I don't know if your phone would change.
yeah,
Your phone
no,
would probably cross over.
yeah, I hope that was interesting because if you're right next to the line, which time would it say? It's like
Like, do you wanna
which
live in this house and be at this time or live in this house and be at this time? And then, like, what happens if you go to work? Like, I guess you just try to have to figure out their time.
yeah.
That would be, like, suck if your work was, like, an hour ahead, so then you had to, like, get up an hour earlier because then once you got up at 8, but then you had to go to be at work at 8, so you actually had to be up at, like I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but I don't know. Oh my
Wait,
god, it's making my head hurt already just thinking about it.
yeah. I think everyone understands what you're getting at there. That's for sure. So, so how did you want to phrase this question for daylight savings time?
Um How do you feel about daylight savings time?
Okay. There we go. Daylight time. Okay. Okay. So I guess the answers would be I like it. I guess I don't like it. Would that be good?
Yeah, we could say, like, "We need it," or "I think
Okay.
we need it."
Okay.
Um, "It's not necessary," maybe. "It's not necessary."
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. I say what else? I'll get back. Let me just type something here. Give me 1 second. What was the what would be the next one? I apologize. I'm typing something on my other screen over here. Give me 1 second here. Um, what is okay.
Another one could be,
Okay, I'm back. There we go. There we go.
"It's essential," or, like well, I guess that would be the same thing as, "I think we need it." It's not nec it's not
I put
needed. Um,
yeah. Sorry, I changed that around a
I
little
think
bit.
we
So
I think we need it. It's not needed. Um, I don't care. Like I'll like whatever. I don't care. And I guess the other one could be we don't do daylight savings time.
good one. I like that. Okay. Daily-
I guess that's good. I can't really think of anything else. Everything else would be pretty similar.
Okay. Don't do it. Alrighty, cool. How are we gonna post that and see what we got? Does it look good?
Mhm.
Okay, there we go. Cool. Alrighty. So, oops, let me bring that screen down. Yeah, my best friend, his name was Trevor. We've been friends since we were 10 years old. Was he said that we should not do daylight savings time. He would actually prefer it the other way around. So we would stay in standard time all year round, and basically that would mean that the sun would come up even earlier, like say four in our area, like 4 o'clock in the morning. So and,
Mm.
and
Well, and is
he's
that why oh, go ahead.
yeah, so during the summertime, the sun would come up like maybe between like just before 4 a.m. And he was like, he really liked that. And I was like, yeah, but how many people get up at 4 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. So and also I do know that the sunlight will affect your ability to, probably to do similar to what you were saying before. I forget how you about What was
Your
that?
your
Yeah,
circadian rhythm. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, something similar to that.
And is that why, like, there's different Oh,
I'm
I was
sorry.
just gonna say, is that why there's different, like, time zones?
Oh yeah, well the time
I'm
zones is because the
guessing.
yeah, well, that's because the Earth is rotating around on the axis, but that's that's different there. But the
Yeah.
but yeah, and I think he's in the minority. I mean, I've often heard that when you stay in standard time, that farmers love that because the sunlight comes up early because they can start their work early. So that's something. But that's
Mhm.
I don't know of too many other people that would want to give at 4 o'clock in the morning to. I mean, have the sunlight because what happens is the sun when it comes up, everyone just automatically gets up. It doesn't matter if it's time to get up or not; they'll just get up. So getting up at 4 o'clock is just gonna, it would start to throw everybody's time off. So
Mhm.
I think I don't know. But it's just he just thought it was a good idea. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that in there, but who knows? I do
Yeah.
know
I don't know.
one more thing. I do want to, when I worked at WGAY. I do remember that during daylight savings time, we had one of these old style, what looked like an old style analog clock with the arms, pointing to the hour and minutes. And if you happened to be in the studio when the time changed, you would actually see the hour hand go back or forward depending on what time of year it was. So it would do it automatically by itself. That was one of these little unique things that you had to be there at the right time just to see it. So, but
Yeah,
they didn't have digital clocks.
it's interesting.
So, but yeah,
Hmm.
as far as daylight savings time, I guess it doesn't really matter to me so much right now. I guess it depends on I don't know. It I don't know. I'd like to see the responses from the people. I guess let's see what they say first, and I'll give a response to their response. We'll go from there. So
Okay.
no, I would like to say I would like to add this is something completely different. We talked about how I got a new car recently, and
Mhm.
the license plates that Virginia had issues on their cars. I'm not sure where you are, but you're in Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
In Virginia, they recently redesigned the license plate. So at the very bottom, it advertises Virginia at the bottom of the plate, which is and I so immediately I was like, okay, I'm going to go replace the license plate of my car because Virginia offers you can get another one that doesn't have that. But unfortunately, since I just bought
Mhm.
the car, the title has not been transferred into my name yet, which is kind of strange. The dealer told me it'll take up to 2 or 3 weeks before that happens. Even though I have license plates that say it's in my name, the title is not. So I can't change it without the title yet. So at the very bottom, it says Virginia is for lovers, which is like an advertising slogan. And then
Okay.
after that, it says it gives the Virginia website, which is like
Mm.
virginia.gov or something. I can probably bring it up here. I can picture of it.
Mm.
But the thing is, it's like it's frustrating in a sense because I'm typing up as we talk about it. Um, the I don't even advertise my own business. I've had a business for the past 15 years, and I have never advertised my own business on my car. And now I'm advertising the state of Virginia on my car. And here we
Yeah.
go. Let's see if I can if we got one. Yeah, here's one up here. Um, it just seems kind of here we go. Here's a place right here. There it is right there. You can see right there. See, Virginia's for lovers right there. And then below it says virginia.org. I couldn't remember what it was. So like so every
That's
car
interesting.
that has that, yeah, is on there. It's like you're basically advertising for the state of Virginia. It's basically to so if you travel out of state or another person comes into the state, they see the back of your car, they can know with license. It's basically promoting the state, and it's well, why should I be? I paid for my car. Why should I have to be promoting your state? Or well, it's my state technically, but why should I be doing that?
You
I'm
should
not.
be getting, like, what is it, like, a compensation for that. Like, anytime someone visits the website when they're in the vicinity of your car, you get royalties or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
royalties, but I can't think of what the word is.
So,
That
so
is interesting. Like, you would think that people would know, like, okay, yeah, Virginia, like, any state is gonna have a website, of course. Like, why? I don't know. They must think it's important.
yeah, it's kind of
I mean,
tacky too. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think it looks necessarily the best, but if they think I mean, if they're gaining attraction from it and it's like working, like I guess they technically like your license plate is like kind of owned by the state, so they can do that. But yeah, I think it looks kind of cheesy. Like
Yeah.
I don't mind
So
the Virginia's for Lovers, like okay, but then yeah, like underneath that.
yeah. So and so Virginia offers other plates. Like they have a whole bunch of plates. So several of them on here. You can see like different styles. You can go on the website. You can choose different ones. But and so but unfortunately, since the title's not in my name yet, I'm stuck with this plate that I don't like on my car. So I just and it's not too much of a big deal. It's just me voicing my frustration because I don't want it, and and I can't do anything about it. If I want to drive, I have to have it on my car. So I did think about I had a plate that looked like let's see if I can see it like this one over here. It was a 400th anniversary plate. At the very bottom it said 1607 to 2007. I had that on my car and I actually painted it white so you couldn't see it. So I was thinking about doing
Mm.
that, but it's I don't have the time or desire to really do that again. So I decided not to. So but
Well, you can get a new one, right? Once your title gets in your name.
yeah, it's just for now, it's just how long that takes, and it's just me venting, just silly venting, that's all, so, but anyway, that's otherwise, there's nothing really new with the car itself, everything seems to be okay right now, but, I did wanna talk about we were talking about last week, Electric Dreams,
Yeah,
so
did you watch more episodes?
yeah, and I have to apologize because some of the episodes I have on my computer are labeled incorrectly. So I hope I was the ones we were talking about. Well, we talked about two last week. So I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I have these labeled correctly this time. Um, the one I watched was oh, let's see, had the name Father in it. Father thing. Let me see if that's the right one.
Oh, is that the one where the dad gets taken over by an alien?
Yeah, is it it's the one where I think it's the one where it's like the body everybody's body is taken over by insects. Did you see that one?
Oh, by insects? Wait, when you
Yeah,
show me if you start playing it, I'll probably remember. I
yeah.
don't
Let me
think I remember that off the top of my oh,
let's say the
no, that
main
was not
character
that. Yeah,
he's a young boy. He's a young boy. Here it is. Okay, here we go. I found it. I'm bringing it up right now. So this is very similar to another famous movie series. Let me see if I can bring the title up. Okay, here's the going through. The Father Thing. Okay, this is the episode. It's called The Father Thing. That's what right there.
oh,
So,
yeah, this is the one where he gets taken over by, like, yeah, an alien or whatever.
yeah, so this one is very much very similar to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Have you ever seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Mm, no.
Okay. Invasion of the Body Snatchers has been remade like 4 times, I think. There's a version that came out in I want to say the 1957 or 58, I think. Then there's one that came out in like 1977, like 20 years later. And another one that came out in like 1990, and then another one that came out in 2007. So when I saw this, I was
Well,
like, "Oh, this is very much. I don't know which came first. If Philip K. Dick wrote his story first, or if the Invasion of the Body Snatchers came out first, or if they just happened to come up with the same storyline. It's very similar.
they
So
wrote it together, actually.
oh, they did? Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I know, I was just saying, I
Oh.
don't know. It'd be cool if they did.
The difference between this and the Invasion of the Body Snatchers was in Invasion of the Body, they instead of being insects that were inhabiting their bodies, they were just large pods that would come down and make duplicates of the body, kind of, and then the original body would disappear, and the new body would take place, and they would just basically take over, kind of just like this. But I mean, it was almost identical, but the concept was just a little different. That's all. So, um,
Yeah, and this one I thought was I don't know how would you rate this one?
uh, I thought it was okay. I hate to say I was heavily biased by seeing Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So I'd
Oh,
have to
so
say,
similar.
yeah, I would have to say probably I would give this one a slightly lower rating because I like that movie better, the original. So, but I do like the idea that at the very end, as the movie, they basically, well, I won't jump too far to the end. Basically, the boy in the story, I don't remember his name, but he's with his dad. The dad, and you can tell they're close, and he realizes it's not his dad, And so the kid does a
Mm.
search on the internet. Turns out that everyone is noticing that people are different and changing. And as he goes along, as time goes along, the he has like his other friends of like I don't know if you call them friends because one of the kids that was with him said he was going to beat him up the next day or something. So I was like, is that really a friend? But he ended up hanging out with him anyway.
Yeah, that's a bully. That sounds like a bully.
And
She's awesome.
he realizes his dad isn't the right one, isn't his real dad. And there's a scene in there where you can see his dad's being like transformed. Do you remember that scene? Um, Here it is, right here.
Yeah, that's, like, in the beginning, and he sees
Is this it?
yeah, there's, like, all these, like, yeah, I think he's walking out to the trash.
Oh, it's not there. Maybe it wasn't it.
Yeah, it's right
But
there. That's it.
is it?
Oh, did it just skip?
Well, I'm jumping ahead by 10 seconds. It's not showing it for some reason. Maybe
I
hold
think
on.
it was one I think it's there.
Okay, let me play. Okay, okay, let me play through a little bit
Yeah,
here.
'cause you see the thing in the sky, he sees the thing in the sky, and I don't know if oh, yeah, there's another one where he's, like, in the actual workshop, and there's, like, lights and stuff going off, and it seems like that's what's happening, but I feel like it's yeah, right there, play.
That's what I thought.
Um, I think
No,
he's oh,
it just jumps.
wait, go back
So
a little bit.
okay, I'll
Oh,
go back.
okay.
I'll try. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Like,
Here's
play that whole
yeah, it's not very much. It's like maybe 10 seconds. Yeah, see, it's not there. So
oh,
it's not
okay,
there.
that's not it.
So yeah, but basically, I'm sorry if I basically he sees his dad being taken over by another entity. I think it's already happened. Yeah, I can't seem to find it. Sorry,
Yeah,
but I don't know why I can't find it. That's weird. Um, and
unless it was before that, but
maybe
I don't
I'm
think
not,
so, 'cause that seems back too far.
no, that's too far forward. Yeah, so, I wish I could see. Yeah, but basically, his dad is being taken over by another entity of some kind, and this blue light comes out of his mouth, and yeah, it's not there. Anyway,
That's it. Yeah, it's,
that's
like,
it.
right before that happens. Yeah, I think that's, like it's there.
There it is. There we go. Here we go. Yeah. So he looks in there. He sees his dad being taken over by whatever it is, and let's see. I gotta show it again.
The
Oh,
look on that kid's face.
there we go. So basically, his
Oh, wow.
dad's being absorbed by this alien force. There we go. Now we got it. Now we can see a little bit better. So there we go. So the dad is being absorbed, or there we go. So
Okay, so you can see 2 of the people. It's cool that you, like, are pausing it because, yeah, that other character must be him, right?
yes, yeah, it's so yeah, basically the one is the real dad and one is the alien version of the dad, I guess, is what I was
Mhm.
saying. So, and they don't get into detail as to what's going on, but basically you're led to believe that the the alien version of the dad it takes over the life of the real dad. So,
Mhm.
and that's when you think about it, it's very kind of terrifying for a young kid to see his own dad being killed like that because that's what's
Oh,
basically
yeah.
happening.
I couldn't even
So,
imagine being this age and seeing something like that. I can't imagine a kid.
yeah.
That's
And
traumatizing.
so there his dad's being absorbed by this entity. Okay, there we go. That's it. That's exactly what I wanted to see there.
I don't
So,
remember, like, that seeing it like that, but
yeah. Okay, so that's all you see, and then after that, the kid realizes that the alien creature is not his dad.
and, like,
As
the
the
mom doesn't believe him,
Yeah,
no one
the
really
mom
believes
doesn't
him
leave him. Mm, and
except his
let's see.
friends, then the group of friends get together and they try to figure out what's going on with the world as kids do, in, like, a lot of movies, I feel like, which is kinda cool,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm forgetting how it ends, but
yeah. I was gonna ju
essentially
I went to jump I went ahead. There's a scene where he goes back into the into the garage here. Was it here? And he actually looks in, he can see the remains of his dad's body in the garage in the garbage can. Do you remember that?
yeah, or, like, it's like a is it I think it's just, like, a mask or a glove or something, I don't know, there's, like, something in there.
Okay, I thought it was supposed to be his dad's body just bent up and distorted and thrown away. I thought that's my interpretation of it. Maybe I
Okay.
was so, and okay, so yeah, 'cause I'm like I won't look for that one, but basically, he finds whatever it is in the trash can, indicating that his dad has been replaced, and now they have all these other people that are gathering together, and this is, I mean, it's virtually identical almost every way to the Invasion of the Body Snatchers because in
Oh,
those movies, the same thing would happen. You know, all these people would just gather together, and the rest of the world were like, well, I noticed there's something different about my you know, like the one guy said, it's not my wife, and the kid saying it's not my father, and all these people, and eventually, as time would progress in the movie, those people would be replaced with something, and then they would say, oh, everything's normal now. So. Um,
mhm.
at the end of this movie, there is no that nothing gets really resolved, which is kind of interesting. Um, so basically, at the end of the movie, it's just the kid saying that he really loved his father, and that they're going to resist, so to speak. Creates like one of those hashtags, and he's going to resist, and he's going to basically, it's implied that he's going to lead the resistance against this invasion that's going on. So
Mhm.
um, yeah, there it is. He types hashtag resist. So, and but I don't really think. I mean, if these
Oh,
aliens are,
Charlie.
what's that?
Oh, his name's Charlie in the show.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't even catch that. Okay. The if there was really I mean, I find it hard to believe that a bunch of kids would be able to make a major resistance against whatever this alien invasion is at this point. So I like how the ending, it wasn't a happy ending. That's, you know, the happy endings and these kind of things don't necessarily make a good ending, but
Mhm.
it was the idea that he was actually going to be that leading some sort of resistance seemed a little far fetched. He's just a little too young, and I would think that the aliens would probably be able to overtake him and whatever he's doing, because what he's showing can be seen by them as well. The aliens can see what he's doing. So I didn't really see much of a way that it would actually work out. But I don't know. What do you think?
Um, yeah, because this is the ending, right? He just kind of gets online and then says like where they're gonna go out and try to find these aliens. Um, I thought the end. I mean, I don't know. I was hoping for a better ending. I didn't necessarily like it, but I mean, kids are smart. Like, it's kind of like Stranger Things or whatever. Like, they're gonna go out and try to beat the whatever monster. So, like, I understand like the concept of it, but I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I mean, I'm trying to think how I would end it, but so, and I can't really, I don't know. I was just hoping something else would be a little bit different, but I didn't. This one was okay for me, but yeah, like it wasn't anything like super out of the ordinary. Like I feel like you said, like it seems similar to another movie, which it is.
Yeah.
It didn't. It was good, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah. And then I think this is the scene where where the insect there comes out of his mouth. There it is. So
Oh, okay, it is an insect. Yeah.
yeah. And
How did they get it out? It just comes out.
well, they killed the thing that's pretending to be his dad, and then the alien, the insect just came out after the body died. So
Oh, right, right. Okay.
so it comes out, and then as then they, it was kind of funny because I thought this insect was going to be super powerful, like, and but all they did was they just squished it. They stepped on it with their boot.
Yeah.
So,
I know I would
so
be like freaking out. It was gonna like come into one of their mouths,
oh yeah.
but
Yeah, if I saw something that looked like that, I'd be freaking out too. Bugs. Yeah, if the bug is less than like an inch or two, I'm usually okay. But once it gets to be much larger, I usually start to freak out just
if
based on
it's
the
the
size.
size of my finger, I am not touching it.
But to compare this to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original one from the 1950s, at the very end, there was no resolve. It was the main character, I think, was played by an actor named Kevin McCarthy, and what happened was he escaped from the town that he was in, and when he got to another town, and he tried to tell everyone that everyone had been taken over, and the people of that town didn't believe him until at the very last
Mhm.
minute, a truck full of pods that were used to grow the bodies had overturned on the highway. Once that happened, then the people in the town started to believe him. So the end of the movie was left you with like, oh my goodness, so maybe they may be able to fight the alien invasion, but they never. That's how the movie ends. It kind of ends like this one. You're left with the idea you don't
Yeah.
know what's going to happen. That leaves it open for possibly another sequel, or just to leave it open to your imagination as to what happens. So, um,
And I think that's a lot of his shows are kind of like the ending is like, okay, well, what happens next? Or like it is kind of up to I'm feeling like a lot of these shows are just up for interpretation at the end, where like you could kind of have debates and discussions about what do you think? What do you think? I guess we'll never know because we don't know. I mean, he wouldn't be making anymore or
no,
be able to really speak on them now. But I think maybe that was his vision to just kind of leave it up to the audience.
right, right, and it's if like I said, my feeling about this is tarnished by the other movies. But maybe if I had known about that, I might have thought this was a little better. But yeah, this was kind of a weak story in some ways because of that. So,
Mhm.
um, I will say, and I something I sent you an email about as well. Looking at the closing credits, I was surprised to
Mhm.
see. Let's see that Ronald D. Moore is actually part of it. I'm not sure if you know who Ronald D. Moore
Oh,
is.
and well, I know Claire Simon casting. I think that's who I saw for the casting.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Let me play it
Ronald
there.
Seymour.
Okay,
Um,
I'll play it.
Jen
Who's that again?
Detmeier.
Let's see. Other quick.
Well, I'm pretty sure unless
Is that it?
oh, okay, no. Well, what's the next one? That's LA casting. Yeah, Chicago. Oh, so it was done in Chicago. Claire Simon. That's cool.
Okay.
Um, I know a couple friends that have auditioned for her. I didn't realize so that
Oh,
must and that's interesting though because the little boy looks familiar. I wonder if he's from Chicago.
hmm.
I feel like I've seen him before. Um,
Maybe you know him. So try.
maybe I've seen his headshot. I don't think I know I know him,
Oh, okay.
but,
Yeah, but Ronald D.
okay.
Moore is he's kind of well known for science fiction. Let me play it through here. He was it says Philip K. Dick was the story was the exact same. They didn't change the title of his story, but Ronald D. Moore has done several different kinds of science fiction. He started off with Star Trek: The Next Generation, then he moved on to Star Trek. There he is, Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. But then he moved on to something that's considered to be by a lot of people very profound, which is Battlestar Galactica, which was done from 2003 to 2009. I don't know if you ever saw that show, but he was the showrunner, and he and another guy named David Icke, they were the ones that were in charge of the show. And in my opinion, the show started off really good, but as the show progressed, it got to like what they did was they were rewriting an original show from 1978. Once they stopped rewriting the original show and they had to come up with their own ideas, the show kind of went downhill for me. So he's a good writer, but he kind of he likes to go back and change things, like, and that kind of ruins the story for me. Like he'll say one thing early on, but then he decides, well, I like something else, so he changes the premise of what actually happened earlier on, and so it contradicts it a little bit, but he tries to justify it, and then so his writing can be good, but just the idea that he wants to constantly change things kind of can muddy the story, in my opinion. So he's not perfect,
Hmm.
but I do like a lot of the stuff that he does. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, his name sounds familiar. I'm trying to what did you say he's all done? Or
Uh,
just
yeah, I'm not sure. He's doing some new shows right now, but the shows he's done in the past: Star Trek: The Next Generation, Star Trek:
oh,
Deep
yeah, he's
Space
from Star
Nine.
Trek, okay.
Yeah, and then he also did Battlestar Galactica. So those are the three that I
Oh,
know him for. And but he's good. He's good, but he's like I said, he's got his I don't know, issues, I guess you could say. So, um, but I was actually surprised to see his name was actually part of this. I mean, in a good way, because I when I see his name, I knew it's usually something I would like to watch, even though sometimes he muddies everything. So, but I
right.
know I know we need to wrap everything up here because you need to get out of here. So let's go back to our question. See what we got here. Let's see what kind of response we got here. 25 minutes in, we got 53 votes. That's not too bad for 53. So, how do you feel about daylight savings time? No comments yet, but 70% so far said it's not needed. Uh,
Needed, okay.
13%, I think we need it. 9% with I don't care, and only 8% with we do not do daylight savings time. So, okay.
Okay, so not as I was thinking maybe a little bit more people wouldn't, but so most people think that we don't need it.
Yeah, the vast majority, yeah. So, all right. And of course, this is probably, there might be influenced, but obviously by it being an international audience. So
Mhm.
that must be a factor. So, alrighty. I I would think, well, if this was done primarily in countries that have it, I would probably say they'd say we do need it. I'm guessing. I would guess if that's just a guess. I don't know. It's just I could be wrong on that. So.
Well, I'll be curious to see how it turns out, and then we can give our thoughts on it next time.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, it was good. Thanks everybody for participating in the poll and leaving the comments. There were some comments I didn't read all through them. A lot of people were just saying hello and hi. So hi back to everybody and little thumbs up and everything. So alrighty. Anything else you'd like to add, Katie, before we wrap everything up?
No, just remember if you are doing daylight savings time, remember to change your clock back tonight at 3, 2, 2. I don't even know. Is it 2 or 3 a.m.? I mean, it's one of the
Yes.
two.
Yes, it's at 3 a.m. you pull your clock.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had backwards. At 2 o'clock in the morning, you jump ahead by 1 hour. So you won't have a 2 o'clock hour. It goes right from 2 to 3. So
Oh, okay.
we'll lose an hour there. All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Oh, you okay.